Hi, I'm Charles Arnn. I'm your instructor over the next 16 weeks in the Missional Church class. As you no doubt know, this class is your first serious class in terms of the Master of Divinity program. You had a good 1-week introduction, most of you did, on campus a little while ago. And I hope that was a chance for you to kind of connect and meet each other. Because over the next 3 years, you will be a cohort together, working and learning and asking questions and giving answers and laughing and crying a little over the course of the 3 years together. However, I can guarantee you that by the end of that 3 years, your community and your camaraderie in that cohort will be one that will be, it'll last for a lifetime. A number of the groups that have already graduated have since started their own Facebook page and stay in touch with each other in terms of their new positions and their new family members, and it's just a real community and a family that you'll enjoy for many years to come, I'm sure. So it's fun to be a part of this early development stage with you as you begin your class together. Just wanted to go over a few things in terms of what to expect in this first course. I know many of you are new at this whole online business, and so just to give you a few heads up on kind of how the course is operated and how I like to work, and so we can all have a good time together. So let's take a look at a typical week. You'll be running into pretty much of a standard format over the course of not only our class, but really most of your online classes from here on. And the first thing you'll want to do is to download the weekly assignment. It's generally a 3, 4, or 5-page document and tells you pretty much what you'll be looking at for the rest of that week. You'll be able to look at your reading assignments, any research projects you have. Oftentimes there's a link to a video clip that you'll be looking at. And so the first thing is just to get a sense of what the whole week looks like, and then try to spec out the time involved in each one of these activities. Just speaking about time, let me give you a kind of an insider's tip on succeeding in online education. And that is that it's really important to schedule your time. This may be the first time many of you have been in class for some months or years, and you'll find that it's one more thing to do in the many things you already are doing, I'm sure. And so what you'll need to do is just be self-disciplined. I need to tell you that generally at the end of most classes there's 1 or 2 students that haven't gotten that concept, and they're scrambling at the last minute, and most of the time they need to take an extension or incomplete just to finish the work. So stay on top of things. It'll be easy for the first 3 or 4 weeks, but after week 8 or 9, it's going to be easy to feel like, well, maybe I'll just put this assignment off. I encourage you not to. So you'll have, in a typical week, you'll have some reading. Almost every week there's some reading in terms of your textbooks, and each week you'll have different texts and different chapters. We won't read all the texts in all the chapters, but we will go through most of them. And then you'll have, in addition to reading, you'll have a discussion board or discussion forum. That's a pretty important part of the online experience. In your assignment, your weekly assignments, you'll have a question, generally based on some of your reading, that you're asked to respond to and make an initial post for. And then over the course of the next week, you're asked to make responses and dialogue with your fellow students about the comments. And it'll be easy to kind of follow along. But by and large, the first post is due by Tuesday, and all of the rest of them, generally 3 or 4 or more if you'd like, are due by the end of the day on Thursday. In terms of the discussion forum, it really takes the place when we're online of classroom discussion, and so you will be graded on that. Generally, it's when you submit at least a significant and substantial initial post, and then are involved in at least 3 or 4 substantial response posts, I'll generally give you full credit. Unless, of course, I'm watching a football game and my home team just lost the game, then everyone loses. But go Colts. So you'll have some research, you'll have a paper. The paper itself, by the way, needs to be, in terms of whatever the content or topic, it needs to be in an APA format. You were introduced to that style before, and if you send something in the first few weeks that is not APA, that's right, I'll give you a little hint about what's missing and probably won't take off any points at that point. One of my favorite parts of the class, I think you will enjoy it as well, is a series of 4 videotapes by my friend Reggie McNeil. Reggie gave me permission to use this. It was actually a video of a one-day conference he gave in South Carolina, I believe it was. And so this video is one you'll take notes on, and it's almost as if you're right there listening to a one-day conference by one of the foremost thinkers in the field of the missional church. One of the things that you'll find helpful in this Master Divinity program is that many of the praxis courses, there are 6 altogether in the degree program, actually have 2 professors. One professor is what's called the praxis professor. That's kind of like the subject matter expert, and in this missional church class, that happens to be me. So all books and discussion forums and papers that are related to the content and topic of the missional church are from my perspective, and I'll be involved in that. You will also have, however, a second professor that is the foundations professor. This person will be the spiritual professor, the Bible history, looks at theology and church history. And so you'll find that this particular person, and I can't tell you who that is because there's different classes and different profs, but you'll have a foundations professor that is involved in the discussion forums related to that particular area. So it's a nice integrated process that I think you'll find very helpful. In conclusion, let me encourage you to keep the phone number of the instructional technology support people handy. I do all the time. And they're great at helping you through obstacles, especially if this is your first class in Blackboard. Just give them a call, and they're there, I would like to say 24 hours a day, but generally it's 6 a.m. to midnight, 5 days a week. I don't think they're working weekends. But get that phone number and just tell them that you're new to Blackboard and you're a first-year student, and they'll hold your hand right through the process and make life much easier for you. If you do have any questions about the content, please feel free to be in touch with me. I love to be available. I have an email number. It's charles.arn@indwest.edu. And also feel free to use my cell phone and give me a call as that is helpful. Don't forget, I live on the West Coast and you live perhaps on the East Coast, so there's a 3-hour time change, but call me anytime. My cell phone is area 626 and then 627-7096. So in conclusion, let me just begin to get your appetite a little whetted as I can. It's a great class. I guarantee you that by the end of the time together, you will feel like it's been a time worthwhile. You'll have lots of notes and lots of information about the missional church, and you will have had lots of application opportunity to apply these things in your life, in your situation, and your church. Invariably, we get students thanking us for the opportunity to bring to the table some of the important questions that they've wanted to talk about in their church, but really didn't feel perhaps comfortable. But here, all of a sudden, you get an assignment, and you have to do it, and it's just kind of a great excuse to get some things out that will really be helpful in terms of your own local congregation. So it's going to be a great time. I guarantee you that, well, it won't be easy, but it will be worthwhile, and it's a great investment in your life and in your future and in the ministry that God has called you to.